Good evening and welcome to This Week in Joe's Basement. I'm Joe, and this is my basement. So, this is our second show, and we're going to commemorate that by having our special viewers, were you paying attention last week, quiz. Now, I had ample reason not to be paying attention last week, because we were covering structural cinema, which is a piece of film or video which functions to make you aware of the passage of time. Anyway, so our first question, to see if you were paying attention last week, is, how many beers did the performer consume during last week's show? Question number 2 is, how many times did the performer belch during last week's performance? Question number 3, what was the date on the newspaper the performer was reading during last week's show? Question number 4 is, what section of the newspaper did the performer partially consume during last week's performance? And question number 5 is our special viewers bonus question. Is Andy Warhol an asshole or what? Huh? Alright, so the answers to our questions are as follows. Answer to question number 1 is 3 beers. See? 3 beers. The answer to question number 2 is on your screen, because I personally have no idea how many times I belched last week. Don't know about you. The answer to question number 3 is July 6th, but that question was blatantly unfair. You had absolutely no way of determining that from watching the show. Question number 4, the answer to question number 4 is, of course, the food section. And finally, the answer to our bonus question, yes, he's an asshole, and he's dead, too. Alright, so, you know, public access cable is a great thing in many ways, but there are a few things I'm not allowed to do on the air. And first and foremost among those is I must not, in fact, advertise or solicit funds in any form whatsoever. For example, I really shouldn't advertise, what kind of ruffles that I'm eating, because that might somehow encourage you to buy their product. So, in keeping with the old boy, since they do let me use the equipment for free, I really must discourage you in the strongest possible terms from sending large quantities of cash to the following address: Joe Winston Slush Fund, 5217C South University Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60615. Please do not send large quantities of cash to that address. Alright, so this week we're going to learn about people as they actually are in the real world. And for that we're going to get people to tell some jokes, just people, ordinary people on the street, people like you and me. Well, not me, since I'm doing the interviewing, but you get the idea. So for that we're going to go out into the real world, to pastures greener than this.
What's the difference between a hockey player and a Polish woman? The Polish woman changes their pads after every 3 periods. I blow it.
Want to try it again? You want to try it again?
Yeah,
Same joke. It won't be just as funny.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a Polish woman and a hockey player?
I don't know.
The hockey player changes his pad after every 3 periods.
All right. What does a woman and the oven have in common?
I give up what?
Both of them got to get hot before you stick the meat in.
Yeah. Crowd went wild on that one.
Well, as you can see here, I have 3 little girls.
We must have a sense of humor.
Yeah, we didn't bring our boy with us, and but anyways, my wife was pregnant with her 4th child, and we didn't know it was going to be a boy or girl, and so we were a little bit concerned. But anyways, what the joke is we were reading a science journal, and we found out that every 4th child born into the world is Chinese. And we were pretty concerned about that. We didn't want a Chinese, but nonetheless, we did get a boy, and we're real thankful for that.
But he's not Chinese.
Not Chinese.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Thank you very much. Not what I expected at all.
Well, hi, my name is Lorna, and here's a good joke. What did the sun do? It made Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat. Say what you put in the pan. What you put in the pan?
What you putting in a pan?
Hot dogs.
Why?
Hot dogs that we play baseball with.
I follow that completely. Sure. Is it as good as that last one? Yeah, you want to hold the mic? You can hold the mic. That's all right, man. It's your show. Go for it.
What did the elephant say to the peanut?
What?
He said, give me a peanut.
Why was the 6 afraid of the 7?
I give up. Why?
Because the 7 ate the 9.
Okay, it was this guy. He went and talked to every woman, and the woman would always get away from him. So he went to the doctor. He said, "Doctor, every time I talk to the woman, they always leave me." And so the doctor said, open your mouth." He opened the mouth. She said, open your butt, open the butt. He said, no, what do you have exactly? They said, "What exactly, doctor?" "Because your breast smells exactly like your ass."
What do fat girls and mopeds got in common?
Give up.
They're both fun to ride until your friends see you on one.
Thank you. One joke you'd like to tell?
Dirty or nice?
Any kind you'd like.
You go ahead.
Okay, this is called the Aquaman joke.
Okay.
Well, the Hall of Justice got a call in, and it seemed that there was some trouble in Europe. So Superman and Batman were the only guys here, and Superman goes, "Well, I'll take this trouble over in Europe because I can fly faster." And so Batman goes, "Okay, I'll just sit here at the Hall of Justice." So Superman goes flying up in the air, and he's going over the coast, you know. And he looks down on the beach, and he sees that Lois Lane is laying completely naked on the ground with her legs spread like this. And Superman goes, "Wow, maybe I can fly down there real fast and fuck her before I go over to Europe to take care of this trouble." And, you know, he goes, "Well, okay." So he flies down really fast and goes down and fucks really fast. He goes back up and flies over to Europe to, you know, help out. And Lois Lane goes, "God, what was that?" And the Invisible Man goes, "I don't know, but my asshole sure hurts."
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Philip.
Philip who?
Philip the tank, I have a long way to go.
That's this man right here, Joe.
A joke, sir.
Just tell him a joke. Why do girls like Pac-Man so much?
I don't know. Why do girls like Pac-Man so much?
Because they get eaten 3 times for a quarter.
If you was up in the tree with a fag, would you get down?
If you was up in the tree with a fag, would you get down?
Would you get down?
Yes.
Oh! You gonna get down!
I can't see it. I can hang around with two nuts all the time. My closest neighbor is my best friend is a pussy. Worst of all, my owner beats me.
No, it's not going to be tonight. We don't know when it will be. They schedule.
Hey, now y'all better show me on
Look for a
TV.
show entitled
What's
This
that?
Week in Joe's Basement.
Tell us a joke
Tell us a joke.
about the big black. Man, what is this? Get this damn guy.
I got on the bus on 67th Street.
Ever heard of the
It's
word?
long.
Hang on. Wait a minute.
It's long. And I got on with the blind man. And then we hit 71st Street. Then I got on with
Folks.
Shut up, man.
I know that joke.
I got on with the I forgot it.
I know it.
Deaf man.
Blind man, deaf man. And one couldn't walk out there.
Right.
Y'all just make the joke so boring. So what? We ain't got
I don't know it.
I got a joke. Your motherfucking mama so damn fat, the bitch wear a microwave for a beeper.
Yo, girl, so her birth certificate expired.
I told your old girl at the age
That's
she died.
good.
I told your old girl at the age she died on me.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a Porsche and a porcupine?
What is the difference between a Porsche and a porcupine?
On a porcupine, the pricks are on the outside.
We're from Cable Access TV, This Week in Joe's Basement, and we're wondering if you could film you telling one of your favorite jokes.
I don't know any jokes. I could film my husband.
Where's
He'll
he?
tell a joke. I don't know. He's around here in a striped shirt.
Okay. Thanks. I think that was just him escaping.
What color striped shirt?
Red and white.
Horizontal?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Your wife said that you would tell us a joke.
The only one that comes to mind is probably not something you could put on TV.
That's okay.
It's
This is cable.
It's cable. Oh, it's a Salman Rushdie joke.
Oh, that's good.
So you turn around, please.
So would you mind facing the camera?
Not at all. No. You know the title of Salman Rushdie's new novel?
No.
Buddha, you fat fuck.
I don't know. Do I know any jokes?
Sure you do.
Sure you do. I've been jokeless for about 14 months. I don't understand. Do you know any jokes? You always know a joke.
The only one I know is the one Catherine told me.
Well, what was it?
Any joke.
Why did the apple date the banana?
Okay.
Why did the apple date the banana?
I don't know. Why?
Because it had appeal.
Excuse me. Do you mind if we tape you?
Why?
Well, we actually want to ask you a joke. We want to ask you if you know any jokes.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I just forgot every joke.
Isn't it horrible that way?
It's horrible.
You know? Well, how about knock-knock jokes? Do you remember any?
No, I don't believe in knock-knock jokes.
You have something ideologically against knock-knock jokes.
I really don't go for them. I
Well?
can tell you something sad.
Tell us something sad, please.
I can't think of anything sad.
How about a George Bush joke? Everyone knows George Bush jokes.
Mm-hmm. George Bush joke. George Bush jokes. Who's George Bush?
Tell you a joke. Yes, I can tell you a joke.
Oh, good. The first one.
It's a religious joke.
Excellent.
All right, there's this preacher, and he's talking to his congregation, and he says to them, this Pentecostal group says, how many of you would like to go to heaven? And of course, they all get up and say, yay, go to heaven. But there is just one person sitting at the back who doesn't move. And then, so the preacher even more enthusiastically yells out, how many of you want to go to heaven? And they'll go, yay, yay, all except this one man. So the preacher steps down, says to the one man, don't you want to go to heaven when you die? And the man says, yes, of course I do, but I thought you were getting up a load to go right now. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, this is a 96-year-old man goes to the doctor for his annual checkup, and he goes through his checkup. The doctor says, everything looks great, you're in perfect shape, come back and see me again next year. And the guy says, next year? He says, I'm 96 years old, I don't buy green bananas.
Thank you very much.
I have to tell you, that's not my own joke.
That's okay.
I stole that.
You have to blame it on someone.
Why is Chicago so quiet on Sunday?
Gee, I really don't know.
I don't know. Why is Chicago so quiet on Sunday?
Well, the Italians are all visiting their deceased relatives in graveyards, and the Irish are all sleeping off their drunks. The Jews are all visiting their relatives in Skokie, and the Polacks all think it's Tuesday. There was a classroom discussion, and the teacher wanted definitions of words, so she asked what was the definition of horticulture, and little Johnny raises his hand, and he says, she calls on him, he says, well, you can bring a horticulture, but you can't make her think.
Okay.
Oh, you
What's the joke? Just do from
Any
here.
joke.
Do you know a joke? That's what they're asking.
Oh, do we know a joke?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard any good jokes in a long
No,
time.
good is not what we asked for.
Just a joke. I read one today, actually. It was in a children's workbook at the laboratory school, but I can't remember what it was. Let's see. Something about elephants. Barnum, what did Barnum? Hold on. Shit, what was it? What did Barnum? I can't remember. What did Barnum? It wasn't a joke. It was stupid.
That's fine. Stupid is good.
Like, what did Barnum say when his elephant was coming towards him? Something like, get out of the way. I mean, it was like, but it was like a puzzle.
That's an elephant
fill
joke.
out, you had to fill out the bottom of it with little code lines.
Okay. What did the elephant say, or what did the river say when the elephant jumped in?
I don't know. What did the river say when the elephant jumped in?
I'll be damned.
That it would. That it would.
Someone asked Donna Rice between George Bush and Gary Hart, whom we prefer. And she said, well, in my heart I like Bush, but in the bush I like Hart.
Very good. Excellent. Anything. We would like to hear a joke.
Oh no, that's too simple for the University of Chicago. Obviously, you want some kind of a
political opinion in the State of the Union or something like that.
No, we're here for trivial things.
Are you really?
Yes, we are.
Are you
We're
the
collecting
trivial channel? Really?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
as a matter of
heavens.
fact.
I think that people's jokes are much more interesting and important than their political opinions anyway.
Don't you realize that politics is a joke anyway? The biggest one of them all?
Absolutely, except that most jokes that people tell are much funnier and more interesting.
George Bush got into an accident, a car accident, went into a coma for 3 years. After he came out of the coma, the first question he asked was, well, how's things in the United States of America? His aide told him, oh, you don't have a thing to worry about, Mr. President. Danny Boy's got things under control, meaning Dan Quayle, the VP. And Bush's first reaction was, oh yeah, how many yen to a gallon of gas these days?
I'm the joke teller here. Okay, there's this kid named Kenny, and he loves the circus. He loves everything about the circus. He reads about the circus. He gets all sorts of books. He loves the clowns. He loves the elephants. He loves everything about it. And he can't wait. And one day he hears that the circus is coming to town. And he gets all psyched up. And he goes down to the box office 3 months in advance. He says, I want the best seat in the house. I want section 6, row A, seat 1. So they're like, well, okay, kid. I mean, it's kind of early, but sure, fine. So he's waiting. It's 3 months, and he can't wait, and he can't wait. And finally the day comes. He gets to the circus 6 hours before it starts. He buys popcorn. He buys cotton candy. He goes nuts. He's sitting in his seat. He's in the best seat in the house. He can't wait. And he's waiting, and he's waiting. And finally, all the animals start coming out. And a little car drives up. 13 clowns jump out. And the head clown walks over. And he puts a horse's head on one of the clowns. And the head clown says, ladies and gentlemen, with a person in section 6, row A, seat 1, please stand up. And Kenny's like, it's me. I'm going to be in the circus. I can't believe it. Oh, my God. So he stands up, and he's ready. And he waits, and the clown says, pointing at the clown wearing the horse's head, ladies and gentlemen, this is a horse's head. And this, he says, pointing at Kenny, is a horse's ass. And Kenny can't believe it. And he's so upset. And, you know, this clown would do this to him. And he loved the circus. And he's so depressed. He goes back to school on Monday. He says to the teacher, he says, I want to take a class in quick wit and retort. And the teacher says, how about speech? And Kenny says, fine. So he takes speech. And he's really good at speech. He gets to high school, he takes quick wit and retort, he's captain of the debate team, he's really good at this. He gets to college, he makes his own major, quick wit and retort, and he becomes the first person in the world to get a BA in quick wit and retort. So he goes on and gets his PhD in quick wit and retort, and he's now the world leader in quick wit and retort. He's on Donahue, he's on Geraldo, he makes it to Oprah, and then he hears that the circus is coming back to town. So he goes down to the box office. But he's so famous, they said, oh, here, have the best seat in the house, it's free. Section 6, row A, seat 1. So Kenny waits, and the circus comes to town. So he goes and sits in the best seat in the house, you know, buys a little popcorn just to, you know, what the heck. So he's waiting and waiting, and the animals come out, and the little car drives up. 13 clowns jump out. Lead clown goes over, puts a horse's head on one of the clowns. He says, ladies and gentlemen, with a person in section 6, row A, seat 1, please stand up. And Kenny stands up. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, this is a horse's head. And this, he says, pointing at Kenny, is a horse's ass. And Kenny, the world leader in quick wit and retort, stands there and goes, fuck you, clown. That's my joke.
Ronald Reagan and Jesse Jackson are at this big conference, okay? You know, and they go through and they write some what you call them, amendments and stuff like that, okay? And then they're having lunch, and Reagan whispers to Jesse, he says, you know, I hear that black men have really big, well, you know what I mean. And so then he says, how do you get them that way? And so then Jesse says, well, I tell you, the secret is, before you go to bed, every night, bang it on the bedpost 3 times. And Reagan's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna try it. So when Reagan gets home, you know, a couple days later, you know, it's really, really late at night, Nancy's asleep, so he wants to be really quiet about it, you know? So he goes to the bedpost, and, you know, he bangs it 3 times, and then he hears Nancy waking up, and he goes, oh no. And Nancy sits up in bed, and she says, is that you, Jesse?
So, okay, women don't listen. They hate me for this one.
I have a big stick, babe.
I got a little one.
Go ahead.
What do a Jap and a tampon have in common? They're both stuck-up cunts.
What's harder to get than toilet paper in Moscow? A student loan in Beijing.
Wow. Okay.
So we got this friendly neighborhood bar. It's kind of notorious because it's got this big, nasty bartender, and he's kind of has a rep for not taking any nonsense from his customers. So one evening, Tuesday night, about 10, 11 o'clock, this little guy walks in, so about yay tall, little guy, walks in, saunters up to the bartender and goes, "Hey, I'll bet you $50 I can bite my left eye." Bartender looks and goes, "You're on, man." Pulls out his money, slaps it down on the bar. Little guy goes, pluck, chomp. So, of course, the glass eye puts it back. Bartender rants and raves and stomps on a swear. And, okay, sorry, says the little guy. Tell you what. Okay, not fair. You had no way of knowing I had a glass eye. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll bet you double or nothing, $100. I can bite my right eye. Look, it's not glass, see? Bartender looks and goes, "All right, you're on." Money down on the bar. The guy pulls out his dentures, bites his right eye. And the bartender's stamping and snorting and swearing and breaking glasses, and the little guy's, wait, I'm sorry, please don't kill me. Okay, all right, it wasn't fair. You had no way of knowing that I had dentures. Okay, tell you what I'm gonna do. Double or nothing. Bartender goes, "Forget it." No. Double or nothing. You can't lose this. You can't lose. Okay, get down a shot glass. Bartender says, "What? Get down a shot glass." Okay, says, gets down a shot glass. Put it on the bar. Puts it on the bar. Little guy goes, "See that table way over there on the other side of the bar?" "Yeah." "I'll bet you double or nothing, $200. We are up to 200 now, right? $200. I can stand on that table and piss in that shot glass and not get a drop on the bar." Bartender looks at him, looks at the little guy, looks at the distance, kind of measures it with his eye. "You are on." Put the money down on the bar. Out of the way, just in case anything spills. Little guy saunters across the room, climbs up on a chair, climbs up on the table, drops his pants. Sploosh. All over the bar. I mean, just a mess. And the bartender's chuckling and chortling and jumping all around and gathers up all the money. And he looks at the little guy, and the little guy is grinning from ear to ear. He says, "What the hell's so funny?" Little guy goes, "Well, I got an $800 bet with the guy outside that I could piss all over your bar, and you just laugh."
Okay, Reagan, Carter, Gary Hart, and Richard Nixon are all on a boat together with their wives. The boat starts to sink, and they've only got room in the lifeboat for like 1 or 2 people. Reagan says, "I have to go." Well, this is an old joke. He says, "I have to go, I'm the president." And Carter says, No, the women should go. And Nixon says, "Fuck the women." And Gary Hart says, "Do we have time?"
Why can't many people tell jokes?
Why not?
Because they too stupid to know.